And, well, how do you do? This is Tom the Beer Whisperer. I got one here I just picked up yesterday. Let me read it to you here. This is a rye wine aged in rye whiskey barrels. This is the Volume 3 from Four Hands. It's 9.5%. Volume 3 is the third installment in our wood series, an ongoing series focusing on high-gravity ales aged in American spirits barrels. Volume 3 is a rye wine aged in rye whiskey barrels. Boy, I'm having trouble saying that, I'll tell you that. Say that 10 times fast, you bastards. The barrels contribute a spicy and slightly fruity quality that blends seamlessly with the smooth maltiness of the beer. The result is a very unique combination of complex whiskey flavor, fruit, and spice with a pleasantly sweet finish. They recommend the pairing is duck. Their website doesn't have much information on this, so I don't have IBUs or anything else like that for you. Yeah, like I said, I just picked up, oh, wow. Wow, yeah, they ain't kidding. That aroma is, wow. That's amazing, yeah. It is a little fruity. I'm certainly getting some dark fruits. Some raisin for sure. Almost like a sweetened raisin, you know what I mean? Go away, damn flies are pissing me the hell off. Along with that spicy rye, wow. Certainly get some notes from that whiskey barrel, some oak on the nose. You know, to be honest with you, I've got a pretty warm day, so a smart man would have probably bought this. There was only one bottle on the shelf, so I bought it. Would have bought this and put it away for about 6 months. But I'm not a smart man, you know. I just can't wait on stuff, you know. I'm not a guy who collects beer. I'm a guy who drinks beer. I applaud those that can. I'm not knocking y'all. I'm just not that guy, you know. If you know, we've all been to that beer geek's house that wants to tell us about all these special bottles he has, but never wants to pop one of them. Well, I'm the exact opposite. On the rare occasion I get something really good, if I'm talking about it, we're popping it, baby. It's just that simple. Oh, wow. Lightly carbonated, but enough to know it's alive. It's alive, man. I'm using a 12-ounce tulip here. I should have used a smaller pour. I got a little aggressive on that pour. Wow, I should have poured only about half of that. Oh, but wow. Flavors are nice, like they say. You certainly get some of those rye whiskey notes. You get those rye beer, rye wine-like notes as well. It's a little spicy, it's a little fruity. Again, I'm certainly getting that it's almost like a sugar-coated raisin, you know, it's kind of what I'm tasting. I'm getting these, along with the dark fruit, the raisin specifically, I'm getting some like deep, dark brown sugar notes, like a Muscovado brown sugar kind of note with it. Oh, it's freaking gorgeous. But what's nice about it, too, is it doesn't finish lazy. Sometimes beers like this are just too much, and they don't crisp up. They don't clean up at the end. This one does. You feel those. Again, I get some of those brown sugar notes at the end, but it's in a crisp, almost steam kind of manner. I'm feeling the fruit sort of in the middle. It's where I'm getting those raisin-like notes. I'm getting that spicy rye at the beginning and then right at the end, along with some of that sweetness I was talking about. Oh, it's gorgeous. I love beers like this. I do. I'm just a whiskey barrel guy. Bourbon is my thing. I love bourbon and Irish whiskey specifically, but if it's aged in a Scotch barrel or a rye whiskey barrel, I ain't turning that baby down neither. I tell you that right now. I love it all, but yeah, my wheelhouse is bourbon and Irish whiskey, that's for darn sure. I've talked about this before. I mean, I started out as a bourbon drinker because that's what my dad drank. My late 20s, I kind of merged over to Irish, and then my early 40s, with as many small batch bourbons that were coming out at that time, I became a bourbon drinker again, and now that bourbon has really caught fire again, and I've kind of become more of a bourbon drinker too. I just love the small and various American whiskeys. I mean, I just picked up a bottle of whiskey called Iowish made from Iowa corn at a distillery out of Iowa, of all places. But it's just beautiful. It's got these incredible sweet notes without being too sweet, without being cloyingly sweet. It's just put together amazingly. I've had it both neat and on the rocks, and it's just gorgeous. And I've kind of strayed from just talking about the beer, because that's what a beer like this does to me. It gets me thinking about other things. That's why I don't really specifically do a beer review. I want to see where the beer takes me. And a beer like this just takes me in 100 directions, and I think that's why it's a wonderful beer. I'm a fan of Four Hands. I was able to visit their brewery when I was there. I didn't do any videos from there a couple weeks ago when I was there. I just said there like 100 times for no apparent reason. But anyway, when I was at the brewery, I didn't, because I met a friend out there, Jay, and we were just talking to BS, and I didn't want to stop to do videos. I just wanted to relax and enjoy a beer. And I think that's difficult for people that do what we do, because we're not getting, I mean, I'm some guys, I don't have any endorsements, I'm not getting paid for it, but I do enjoy doing videos. But sometimes I just want to sit and bullshit with a buddy and not do a video, and that's what I did. But I do need to go back to Four Hands so I can do some videos from there, because I had several beers at the brewery that are only at the brewery, and I just had such a great time there, and there were so many great beers that I had, and I didn't get a chance to talk about them. So, hey, I'm Tom the Beer Whisperer, Volume 3. If this ever comes to your neighborhood, it's a buy. It ought to be a buy for you. For me, if I ever find that this was the last bottle they had on the shelf, so if they happen to get some more, or I find some at another store, I am going to buy this again, and maybe, you know, get a couple bottles and tuck them away for 6 months or so and see what the hell happens, because it really is that amazing. And actually, as I'm letting it sit here, the aromas are getting more intense. I'm running this a little longer than I intended, but I tend to do that with barrel-aged beers. I'm getting more oaky notes as I let it sit and warm, and that's normal. That should happen anyway. I'm also getting I'm getting more of a blend between that fruit and that sweetness I was talking about earlier. The aromas are just getting larger as it warms up, and I imagine the flavors will kind of mellow out as well. I've noticed how complex beers like this, I won't say it's better, warmer, or colder, but I've noticed when I've had a beer like this colder, the flavors are sharper. As the beer warms to probably the temperature it ought to be served at, which I'm guessing is about 55 degrees, I probably started it closer to 40 to 45. The flavors will kind of round out and kind of meld together better. But I do like to start out with it colder, because sometimes I do like those sharp flavors, and they are, for me, they're a little sharper as it's cold. You tend to get more flavors, and they kind of meld together more harmoniously as it warms. But I still like to start with it cold just to see what it gives me in the beginning. So anyways, having said all that, I'm Tom the Beer Whisperer. I'll talk to you later.